Hey guys, good evening and welcome back again to your Unacademy NEET English channel. I hope all of you are doing great, having a good time. So my dear students, let me know quickly in the chats if all of you can hear me, if I'm perfectly audible, visible to everyone. Let me know quickly in the chats with some fire emojis. If all of you can hear me, if I am perfectly audible, visible to every one of you. Good evening people, good evening and welcome back. Good evening and welcome back. Good evening and welcome back. Am I perfectly audible, visible? Just tell me that first of all. Am I perfectly audible, visible? Just tell me that first of all. Quickly, people, quickly in the chats. Is everything perfect? All right, amazing. So welcome to the first session of the NEET 2026 Avengers batch. And we have kept this particular session free for everyone. Okay, that is the reason we are taking this particular session on YouTube. But all the other sessions of this particular batch, they are going to happen on Unacademy platform, right? Perfect. So let me know in the chats first of all whether you have already enrolled into the batch. Say yes or no quickly in the chats. Say yes or no quickly in the chats, my dear students. Let me know quickly in the chats. The ones who have already enrolled into the batch, say yes. The ones who have not, say no. All right. I can see majority of the students have already enrolled into the batch. Okay. And the ones who have not enrolled into the batch yet, my dear students, you still have got some 7 days left for its enrollment. Because no doubt today I'm going to take the first session, but the actual batch, which was supposed to get started today, it has been delayed by 7 days. So the batch is now starting on 30th of this particular month, right? So today is going to be your first session with me from your subject chemistry. Perfect. So my dear students, before starting this particular session, the ones who have not enrolled into the batch yet, let me first of all give you some batch details. Well, I'm not able to rotate my neck properly. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I hope it's manageable though. I hope it's manageable. So first of all, let me give you the complete schedule of the batch. Let me tell you the batch timings, right? Let me tell you all the things what we are planning to do in this particular batch. And this particular batch, your NEET 2026 Avengers batch, it is not going to happen on YouTube, my dear students. It is going to happen on your Unacademy platform. So first of all, let me quickly give you the details of this particular batch. Have a look. First of all, my dear students, the batch which was supposed to get started, this particular batch was supposed to get started on 24th of May, but we are delaying this particular batch by a week because of certain reasons. One of the reasons is my neck, right? So the batch is starting exactly on 30th of this particular month. So again, those students who are willing to join the batch, those students who personally texted me that will be enrolling into the batch in the last week. So this, for them, that's one of the major reasons why basically the batch got shifted by 7 days. So the actual batch is starting on 30th of this particular month. And what exactly we are planning to do in this particular batch, let me tell you that as well. My dear students, your entire syllabus of physics, chemistry and biology, is going to happen in just 6 months, starting from 30th of May till your ending November, or maximum by 10th of December. Your entire syllabus of physics, chemistry and biology will be getting completed in detail, right from the basics, right from the scratch, with the level up content. Point number one. Point number two, once we are done with the syllabus completion, then there will be exactly 2 months for the revision. My dear students. So you need not to worry about the revision as well. Okay? Revision is going to happen in this particular batch itself, and the revision is going to happen in the last 2 months. That means your January and February will be the revision months, right? With us. Number two. Number three, lot of students are worried about this particular point, whether all the chapters will be started from the basics or not. Yes, my dear students, all the chapters will be started from the scratch, from the basics, and in all the chapters of your physics, chemistry, as well as biology, we are going to provide you the level up content. The content is going to be level up. Okay, for sure it's going to be level up. It is not going to be the same anymore what you used to study for your NEET 2025, NEET 2024, 2023, or even 2022. And people, at the same time, if you are enrolling yourself into the batch, then you need not to worry about the study material. The level up study material is included in the batch. You will be getting that level up study material. You need not to worry about that as well. You're not supposed to get any sort of books from the market. No. You're not supposed to study this book, that book. No. You're just supposed to follow our lectures. Apart from that, whatever study material we provide you, you are going to follow just that study material. That's all. Okay, just that study material you have to follow, because that study material already we have designed, we have made it as the level up study material. As you can see, you'll be getting the booklets like this, and these booklets will be delivered to your houses. Okay, and my dear students, at the same time, after every chapter is done, you will be getting the level up DPPs as well, daily practice problems I'm talking about, right? This is something which we are going to provide you in the batch itself. So apart from the lectures which you have to join, right? Apart from that, you just have to solve the study material which we are going to provide you. That is going to be super sufficient for your preparation. That is going to be more than sufficient for your preparation when it comes to the NEET 2026 examination, right? And my dear students, at the same time, there are a few more things which I would want to tell you. In this NEET 2026 Avengers batch, which is starting on 30th of May now, right? There'll be tests which will be scheduled after every 14 days. After every 14 days, you'll have to write the tests, and we will be providing you the test papers of the tests as well. So after 14 days, we'll make sure that you write the tests. We will be analyzing your scores in the tests. We will be letting you know what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, how you can convert your weaknesses into your strengths. All those things will be happening through the mentorship sessions. So there will be basically one-on-one mentorship sessions with you after every test, so that we get to know about your problems, so that we will keep on updating you all the time how you can improvise your scores, etc., when it comes to the NEET 2026 preparation, right? So test analysis, every single thing will be happening in the mentorship session. Perfect. Since after every 14 days you'll be writing the tests, apart from those normal batch tests, there will be some 30 full syllabus mock tests which will be provided. And my dear students, this is the only batch across the country which is getting started in English language. The only batch across the country which is getting started in English language, my dear students. So if you particularly belong to South India or the northeastern part, where students, they cannot understand Hindi, they cannot understand English batches. So the main reason of starting this English batch is for particularly the South Indian students and the northeastern students who are not comfortable in the English language, right? And all those students who still want to get enrolled into the batch, because there are seats left in the batch. Let me quickly show it to you, first of all, how you can enroll right now, because right now there is some offer also going on. So let me quickly show it to you. This is the batch, this is the session which you guys are watching right now. You just have to click on this particular link, which is in the description. Once you click on the link, my dear students, automatically you'll be directed to this particular page. Here you will have to choose Plus subscription, or you can go for Iconic subscription. Now, a lot of students would not know what is the difference between Iconic and Plus. My dear students, in Plus subscription, you get your study material in the form of PDFs. Okay? But in Iconic subscription, you get study material in the form of booklets, and those booklets, like this, they'll be reaching your houses basically, right? We will be sending these booklets to your houses basically in the Iconic subscription. And one more important feature is there in Iconic subscription. Whatever tests will be scheduled after every 14 days, you'll be having, I'm talking about the Iconic users, right? You'll be having two options. Either you can give the test online, or you can go to the nearest Unacademy center. You can write the test there only, right? In the offline mode. That is the special feature which has been added in the Iconic subscription. So all those students who want to write the test in the offline mode, they'll have to go for the Iconic subscription, right? All those students who would want to write the test in the online mode, for them, Plus subscription is fine, right? And in Iconic subscription, more mentorship sessions are scheduled. So how do you enroll into this? You just have to click on 12 months. After 12 months, click on Proceed to Pay. Once you click on Proceed to Pay, my dear students, automatically you'll be directed to this particular page, wherein you have to put your number, or you can continue with your email ID on which you'll be getting the OTP. And right now, my dear students, you are getting this particular batch exactly at the rate of 4799. This is not something which you have to pay monthly. This is the one-time investment, my dear students. So all those students who are still willing, who want to get enrolled into the batch, all those students who personally texted me that delay the batch by 7 days at least, right? So for them, my dear students, you are getting this particular batch right now exactly at 4799. So be the part of the batch as soon as possible, right? And in these upcoming 7 days, from today till 30th, we'll keep on having small sessions on YouTube wherein we'll keep on making your basics clear. Okay? For example, today is the first session of our batch. In the today's session, I'm not going to teach you a lot of chemistry. But what I'll be teaching you, something which will be used in your entire chemistry, my dear students. And what is that something which will be used in your entire chemistry? That is graphs. Okay? This is something which is used in every chapter of your physical chemistry, my dear student. The graphs. After watching the today's session, wherever in whatever chapter of your physical chemistry you see the graphs, you will be in a position to make each and every graph on your own. That's my promise to you, provided you watch this particular session till the end. Okay? And my dear students, the session duration is not going to be that much. The session duration is going to be just 30 to 40 minutes, not more than that. Perfect. In 30 to 40 minutes, all the concepts of graphs will be cleared. Whatever graphs you see in chemistry, you should be in a position to make each and every graph on your own, my dear students, after watching this particular session. Okay? And from graphs, every year, almost some 3 to 4 questions are asked in your physical chemistry, basically. Yeah? Perfect. All right, people. So let's get going. Let's get started. And I hope all of you are ready with your pen and paper. Are you all ready with your pen and paper? Let me know once in the chats quickly with the fire emojis, everyone. Please and please do not spam in the chats. Okay, I do not appreciate that. I've got the option to block as well. And if you get blocked here, you won't be able to talk to us in the sessions which we are going to conduct from 30th, right? You'll be automatically blocked from the batch itself. Perfect. Please do not disturb in between. This is my only suggestion to you. Okay. So let me know quickly in the chats, people, if all of you are ready for the session. I just want to know in the chats quick. Are you all ready with your pen and paper? Yes or no in the chats? Quick, everyone. I want everyone to type it in the chats. I want the chats to run. Okay, since this is the first session, so I want you guys to join the session with high josh. You should not be sleepy or something. Avoid that. The entire journey of this one complete year is going to be fascinating, trust me on that. Because you are directly going to be under my control. And whatever things I tell you to follow for this upcoming 1 year, just follow those things. That's all, nothing more than that. Every single day, my dear students, you'll be having 4 classes. Okay, 4 classes you'll be having every single day. Morning 6 a.m. you'll be having your physics class, right? Then 12 a.m. you will be having your organic chemistry class. Then in the evening, I think 5 or 6 p.m. you'll be having your biology class. And after that, at 8:30 p.m. you'll be having my class. So every single day you'll be having 4 sessions with me, right? And all the sessions, absolutely, they are going to happen on the smart board, bigger screen only, not on the small screen. Don't worry about that. Okay. Someone is saying, sir, would we get the seat for sure? See, one thing I'm assuring you right here, you can record this particular statement as well. If you just follow what we tell you to follow, if you just do what we tell you to do, it is going to be our promise that all of you will land into a dream college. But make sure whatever things we tell you to do, just follow those things. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? Nothing more, nothing less. Perfect? And your entire syllabus will be completed maximum by 10th of January. As I told you already, in 6 months, your whole syllabus is getting completed. After that, there'll be 2 months for revision. Okay? Classes won't be there on Sundays. Sunday will be off. But on alternate Sundays, after every 14 days, you'll be having the test based. Okay. Yes, for school going students also can watch this particular, they can enroll into the batch, because in the daytime we have not kept classes. We have kept only one class in the daytime. Okay, at 12. At 12. Perfect. But you can watch that particular session in the recorded mode later on in the night. Perfect. All the sessions are going to be live. But after every live session, you'll be having the access to its recording as well. Perfect. Don't worry. Don't worry. And a special Telegram group will be made on the first day. That means on 30th of May. Once I take your actual class on 30th of May, on that day itself, we'll be making a separate Telegram group, which will be the private Telegram group, basically, right? Wherein we can interact. It's going to be a discussion group. So that in between, after the classes, if you find any sort of difficulty, any sort of question you have, you can post your questions in that Telegram group, and we shall be continuously 24/7 helping you out in order to solve those doubts, whatever doubts you'll be having. Okay? Perfect, guys. So let's get going. Let's get started and let's try to master the topic. What is that? That is the graphs. That is the graphs. Now have a look. Have a look, people. Have a look. My dear students, first of all, I'm going to write an equation over here. What is that equation? I'm going to write the equation, one basic equation. What is that? Y is equal to mx. Y is equal to mx. This is one equation which I have written over here. One simple equation. One simple equation I have written over here. Y is equal to mx. Y is equal to mx. For example, let's say this is your y-axis and let's say this is your x-axis. My dear students, whenever you have to plot a graph, between y and x, for the equation y is equal to mx. Whenever you need to plot a graph between y and x for the equation y is equal to mx. Remember one thing directly. The graph is going to be a straight line, and this straight line will be passing through the origin. The graph is going to be a straight line, and this particular straight line will be passing through the origin. Point number one. Whenever you will have to plot a graph between y and x for the equation y is equal to mx, the graph is going to be the straight line which will be passing through the origin. Point number one. Point number two, my dear students. This m over here, what does this m represent? My dear students, m represents the slope. M represents the slope. And what is slope exactly? Slope is nothing. Slope is just the value of tan of theta. Now you must be thinking what this theta is. My dear students, theta is the angle which this graph is making with the positive x-axis, in the anti-clockwise direction. This is theta basically. So if you know the value of theta, take tan of theta. If you know the value of theta, get the value of tan theta, and tan theta is going to give you the slope of this particular curve. So my first graph is y is equal to mx. Whenever you see the equation y is equal to mx and you have to make a graph between y and x for the equation y is equal to mx, the graph is going to be a straight line which will be passing through the origin. And this m over here, it represents the slope. Slope is nothing but tan of theta. Theta is the angle which the graph makes with the positive x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction over here. Perfect. For example, my dear students, for example, you have got the equation y is equal to 5x. You have got the equation y is equal to 5x. For example, you are telling me that make a graph between y and x. Plot a graph between y and x for the equation y is equal to 5x. First of all, do you see one thing? Can I say this y is equal to 5x is resembling with y is equal to mx? Absolutely, this y is equal to 5x. It is resembling with y is equal to mx. So if y is equal to 5x is resembling with y is equal to mx, for y is equal to mx, you already know what is the graph. The graph is a straight line passing through origin, right? The graph is the straight line passing through origin. Now, if I ask you, what about the value of m over here? When you compare these two equations, I'll say m value is nothing but 5 and m is nothing but that is tan of theta. That is tan of theta. So tan theta is equal to 5, which indicates that theta is equal to tan inverse 5. Which indicates that theta is equal to tan inverse 5. Perfect. For example, you have got the equation like this. Y is equal to, for example, 7x. Right? What can you conclude from here? you will directly say one thing, y is equal to 7x resembles with y is equal to mx. And for y is equal to mx, we already know the graph. For y is equal to mx, we already know the graph. The graph has to be the straight line, right? And if you by chance ask me, what about this theta? You will tell me theta is nothing but theta is tan inverse 7. Tan inverse 7. I hope this particular point is clear to every one of you. Okay? Right, people? Am I clear with this? So this was your y is equal to mx curve, my dear students. This was our graph number 1, right? This was our graph number 1. And after some time, I'll let you know where this graph is used in your chemistry. First of all, I have to make you understand different graphs. Then I'll show you where all these graphs we are going to use in the subject chemistry. The graph number 2, my dear students. The graph number 2. For example, you have got the equation y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c. This is the equation. Okay, this is the equation. Firstly, people, this m over here. What is this m? M is called as the slope. M is called as the slope. And you know what is slope? Slope is nothing but tan of theta. Slope is nothing but tan of theta. And this c over here, this c is what we call as intercept. C is what we call as intercept. What is meant by this intercept and stuff? Try to understand. Try to understand, people. First of all, I am giving you the equation y is equal to mx plus c. Let's say on this side I'm plotting y, on this side I'm plotting x. Whenever you will have to plot a graph between y and x, for the equation y is equal to mx plus c, the graph is again going to be a straight line. It is again going to be a straight line, but this straight line won't be passing through the origin. This straight line won't be passing through the origin, right? Why? Because you have got the intercept over here. The straight line won't be starting from the origin. The straight line will either start above the origin or will start below the origin, depending on the sign of C. Depending on the sign of C. Here it is positive. So I'll say the straight line will start above the origin, for example, from here. Then it's going to be a straight line like this. Okay? The first thing, the distance from the origin till the point where the graph starts. The distance from the origin till the point from where the graph starts is what we call as intercept. And intercept is denoted by C. So this distance over here will be represented by what? It will be represented by C. Perfect. Right, people? And at the same time, if I ask you about this particular graph, what angle it is making with the positive x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction, that is this theta. If you take tan of this theta, if you take tan of this particular theta, that will give you the slope of this particular graph as well. For example, let's have a look. My dear students, for example, you have got the equation y is equal to 5x plus 3. You have got the equation y is equal to 5x plus 3. Tell me one thing. Whether this particular equation is resembling with y is equal to mx plus c? Yes, it is resembling with y is equal to mx plus c. And when you compare these two equations, I can say m value is nothing but 5. I can say m value is nothing but 5. And your intercept c value is nothing but 3. Perfect. Y is equal to mx plus c format. Whenever you see y is equal to mx plus c format and you have to plot a graph between y and x, what will be the nature of the curve? It will be again a straight line, but this straight line won't be starting from the origin. It will start above the origin, right? It will start 3 units above the origin. It will start 3 units above the origin. So the distance from here to here is what we call as intercept. Intercept is represented by c, and c value is nothing but 3 over here. Perfect. If you ask me, what about this angle? What about this particular angle theta? You'll say m is equal to 5. Since you know m is equal to 5, what is m? M is nothing but tan of theta. So tan of theta is equal to 5, which means that theta is equal to tan inverse 5. So this particular theta is nothing but it is tan inverse of 5. I believe I'm clear with this. Yeah? I believe I'm clear with this. Okay? There'll be 4 classes every day. Okay? Don't worry. There'll be 4 classes every day in the batch. Okay? Please don't use your brain here. I'm telling you, there'll be 4 classes every day. All right. I hope this particular thing is clear. This particular graph is clear. Y is equal to mx plus c. So first graph was y is equal to mx, straight line passing through origin. Second is y is equal to mx plus c, straight line, but not starting from the origin, starting above the origin. How many units above the origin? C units above the origin. Okay. Now, my dear students, if you look at the third graph, what is the third graph all about? Let's have a look. So, people, if you want to have a look at the third graph, that's going to be y is equal to mx minus c. Earlier we were on y is equal to mx plus c. Now we have got y is equal to mx minus c. Now, first of all, again you have got the same thing. What is m? M is the slope. Slope is nothing but, it is tan of theta. It is tan of theta. What is the c over here? C is intercept. C is intercept. Y is equal to mx minus c. Again the graph is going to be the straight line. But will the straight line start from the origin? No. Will the straight line start above the origin? No. Will the straight line start below the origin? Yes. Why is that? Because over here you have got the minus sign. So the graph is simply going to be like this. Let's say this is your y-axis. Let's say this is your x-axis. Let's say I'm slightly extending it. Okay. This is your origin. This is your origin. The graph is going to start down the origins. For example, from here. Then it's going to be a straight line like we already have. The distance from the origin till the point where the graph starts. That means the distance from here to here. It is going to represent your intercept. Perfect. Right? And the angle which this graph makes with the positive x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction, this angle is going to be theta. Even this particular angle is going to be theta. You draw anywhere, this is going to be theta. Theta, theta, theta everywhere. Perfect. Simple and basic stuff. For example, my dear students, you have got the equation. Let's say you have got the equation y is equal to 5x minus 3. Y is equal to 5x minus 3. You have to plot the graph. How the graph will look like? Let's say this is your y-axis. Let's say this is your x-axis. Okay. Now, this particular equation y is equal to 5x minus 3. Do you see it is resembling with y is equal to mx minus c? Yes, it's resembling with y is equal to mx minus c. And y is equal to mx minus c, it is like this, right? So the graph is going to be similar. The graph is going to be similar. Now the distance from the origin to the point from where the graph starts, that's my intercept. And intercept is denoted by c, and c value here is 3 units. Perfect. Right, my dear students? What about the value of m? M value here is 5. What does that mean? That means tan of theta is equal to 5. If tan theta is equal to 5, that means theta is equal to tan inverse 5. What is theta? Theta is the angle which this graph makes with the positive x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is theta, which is nothing but, that is tan inverse of what? Tan inverse of 5. Or you can say this is also theta, right? If this is theta, it is nothing but, it's going to be tan inverse of 5. I believe this particular graph is also clear to every one of you. Okay? Right? Perfect. Now, my dear students, let's have a look at the fourth graph. Let's have a look at the fourth graph. For example, you have got the graph as y is equal to minus mx plus c. Y is equal to minus mx plus c. Right? What is m here, first of all? M is slope. M is slope. Is m value positive or negative? It's negative. Slope is negative. What does that mean? Slope negative means tan of theta is negative. When is tan theta negative? Tan theta is negative when theta is obtuse. Tan theta will be negative when theta will be obtuse. Perfect. Tan theta will be negative when theta will be obtuse. What is the c over here? You already know the c. This is the intercept. This is the intercept at y-axis. So how this graph is going to look like? How this graph is going to look like? Have a look. Let's say this is your y-axis. Let's say this is your x-axis, right? Y is equal to minus mx plus c. So again, it's going to be a straight line. But straight line won't start from the origin because there is intercept. The sign of it is positive. So the straight line is going to start from here, from the top, for example. Slope is negative. Slope negative means theta is obtuse. So it has to be a straight line, but we have to make sure that theta here is obtuse. So do you see this theta as obtuse, right? It's greater than 90 for sure. The distance from the origin to the point from where the graph starts, what do I call that? We call that as intercept. We call that as the intercept. I believe this is clear to everyone. I believe this is clear to everyone. Now, my dear students, at the same time, one more thing. For example, I've got the equation as y is equal to minus 3x plus 5. Do you see one thing? Y is equal to minus 3x plus 5. Do you see it's resembling with y is equal to minus mx plus 5? Y is equal to minus mx plus c? Yes. This particular equation is resembling with y is equal to minus mx plus c. And you already know how do we make the graph for y is equal to minus mx plus c. You already know how do we make the graph for y is equal to minus mx plus c. The graph is going to be like this. Perfect. The distance from here to here is what you call as intercept, which is represented by C, and C value, as you see, is nothing but 5. Perfect. Right, my dear students? What about the slope? Slope is negative. Slope is negative. That means tan of theta is negative. How much? -3. So I can say theta is nothing but that is tan inverse of -3. Perfect. And what is theta? Theta is the angle which this graph makes with the positive x-axis. Which this graph makes with the positive x-axis. In which direction? In anti-clockwise direction. This is your theta. Perfect. I believe this is clear to everyone. In Unacademy, timetable is only for 2 classes. Please check that. That will be updated. Don't worry. I have not updated my timetable on the app yet. Don't worry. That will be updated. My dear students, I hope this particular point is clear to everyone. Y is equal to minus mx plus c. Okay. Now the next graph which we'll be using in chemistry, what is that? What is that? Have a look. People, whenever you see the equation of this format, y is equal to k divided by x. Whenever you see equation of this particular format, y is equal to k by x. Or it can be written like this as well. It can be written as xy is equal to k. Xy is equal to k. It can be either like this or like this. For example, you have to plot the graph between y and x. For example, you have to plot a graph between y and x. My dear students, remember one simple thing. Whenever you are supposed to plot a graph between two variables, whenever you are supposed to plot a graph between two variables, which are inversely proportional to each other, whenever you are supposed to plot a graph between two variables which are inversely proportional to each other, the nature of the graph is going to be like this. And what do you call this particular graph as? You call this as the rectangular hyperbola. You call this as the rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. It is neither going to touch your y-axis here, nor it's going to touch your x-axis. Okay? So remember this particular graph as well, because this will be used frequently. This will be used frequently, okay, in your chemistry. In your chemistry. I believe this is clear to everyone. Okay, I believe this is clear to everyone. My dear students, one more graph which will be asked, which will be used in our chemistry. What is that? That is y is equal to kx square. Y is equal to kx square. You'll be getting an equation of the format y is equal to kx square. Whenever you see an equation of the format y is equal to kx square, and you have to plot the graph between y and x, right? The nature of the graph is going to be parabola opening upwards. Parabola opening upwards, okay? But in chemistry, we make the graphs, we make majority of the graphs in the first quadrant. So I'll take only this portion of the graph. Otherwise, the graph is like this, but we'll be taking only this particular portion of the graph. Perfect. What do we call this particular graph as? This is called as parabola. This is called as parabola. Right? Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? This was my 6th graph, which we'll be frequently using in your chemistry, my dear student. Okay? Now, what about the 7th one? What about the 7th one, which we are going to use in chemistry? For example, you are given the equation y is equal to constant, y is equal to k. Y is equal to constant, y is equal to k. So that means y does not depend upon x. Y does not depend upon x. Right? That means y does not depend upon x. So you change the x, the value of y is not going to change. The graph is going to be like this. You change the x, you increase the x, you decrease the x, y value is going to remain the same always. Right? Okay, this is the graph which will be for y is equal to constant. Y is equal to constant. Perfect. Now people, only these graphs, y is equal to mx, y is equal to mx plus c, y is equal to mx minus c, y is equal to minus mx plus c, y is equal to k by x, and y is equal to kx square, y is equal to constant. In chemistry, we are going to use only these graphs, my dear. And now the point is, where do we use these graphs in chemistry? As I told you, after this session, you should be in a position to make each and every graph on your own. Now, let me show that to you. Let me show that to you, people. Try to understand very carefully. Try to understand very carefully. For example, I'm giving you one equation. P is equal to k by V. You might have studied this equation somewhere, but I'm not going to go into the equation. I'm just giving you the equation. P is equal to k by V. P stands for pressure, V stands for volume. For example, if I'm asking you to plot a graph between pressure and volume, if I'm asking you to plot a graph between pressure and volume, Can you let me know in the chats what will be the nature of the graph? I'm asking you to plot a graph between pressure and volume. Since pressure and volume, they are inversely proportional. Whenever you have to plot a graph between two variables which are inversely proportional to each other, the nature of the curve is rectangular hyperbola. So the graph is going to be hyperbola. Simple, right? Simple basic stuff. For example, let's say I'm giving you the equation like this. V is equal to K multiplied by T. For example, V is the volume, T is temperature in Kelvin. For example, V is volume, T is temperature in Kelvin. For example, I'm asking you to plot a graph between volume and temperature in Kelvin. I'm asking you to plot the graph between volume and temperature in Kelvin. My dear students, do you see this V is equal to KT? Do you see one thing? I'm plotting volume along y-axis. I'm plotting temperature along x-axis. So in this particular equation, instead of V, you can write y. Instead of T, you can write x. And automatically, this becomes your M. Y is equal to mx. What is the nature of the curve? Y is equal to mx. What is the nature of the curve? It's going to be straight line. It'll be straight line. Okay? It'll be straight line like this. And over here, I am showing you certain dotted points. Why is that? There's a logic behind that. I'm not going to the logic yet. I'm just showing you the graph. Okay? It's a straight line passing through the origin like this. For example, I'm again giving you the same equation. V is equal to KT. But here, I want you to plot a graph between Vt versus T square. I want you guys to plot a graph between Vt versus T square. Vt versus T square. Vt versus T square. How do I make this particular graph now? Vt versus T square. Now you might get confused. What do you have to do? Use your brain a bit. What is my equation? Equation is V is equal to KT. Equation is V is equal to KT. That's my equation. That's my equation. But my dear students, do I have to plot a graph between Vt versus T square? Yes. So over here, do I need V or I need Vt? I need Vt here. So what to be done? Let's multiply this equation throughout by temperature. When we multiply this equation by T, it becomes Vt is equal to KT square. When I multiply this equation, the main equation which I have, when I multiply this particular equation with the temperature T, I got Vt is equal to KT square. Now, my dear students, Vt you are plotting along y-axis. T square you are plotting along x-axis. So this is your Vt, which you are plotting along y-axis. This T square you are plotting along x-axis. This K automatically becomes your M. Y is equal to mx. Is it going to be a straight line? Of course, it's going to be a straight line. Do you understand? Do you understand, people? Do you understand this? I believe yes. If you understand this, again, I'm giving you the same equation. V is equal to KT. V is equal to KT. The same equation. But right now, I want you to plot a graph between V and 1 by T. V and 1 by T. Now you'll be confused how to plot a graph between V and 1 by T. For that, again, use your brain a bit. Have a look, guys. Volume you have to plot along y-axis. Now 1 by T, you have to plot along x-axis. 1 by T, you will have to plot along x-axis. So how exactly? Have a look. The equation which I have, that is V is equal to KT. Over here, do I need T? No. What do I need? I need 1 by T. I do not need T. What do I need? I need 1 by T. So can I write the equation like this? V is equal to K divided by 1 by T. Is it one of the same thing? Because T again can go up. It becomes V is equal to KT. That's it. Now, my dear students, this V you are plotting along y-axis is equal to K divided by 1 by T. 1 by T you are plotting along x-axis. Whenever you have to plot a graph between two variables which are inversely proportional to each other, the nature of the curve is going to be rectangular hyperbola. Right? The nature of the curve is rectangular hyperbola. Am I clear? Am I clear, people? Am I clear? Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Yeah? Amazing. Now, for example, variations. What all variations they can give in the exam? Variations. See, let's say the equation is V is equal to KT. This is my equation. V is equal to KT. Now I want to plot one more graph. Now this time I want to plot a graph between Vt and T, not Vt and T square. This is Vt and T. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? My dear students, right now in this particular question, you are plotting Vt along y-axis. You are plotting T along x-axis. Vt along y-axis. T along x-axis. Do you know the equation? Equation already you know. V is equal to Kt. This is my equation. But the point is, do I need V here or I need Vt here? I need Vt here. I need Vt here. So what do? I'll be multiplying this equation throughout by temperature. I'll be multiplying this equation throughout by T. So it becomes Vt is equal to K T square. Correct? Now tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. This Vt we are plotting along y-axis. Okay. Along x-axis, what are we plotting? Along x-axis, are we plotting T or T square? Along x-axis, we are plotting T. So instead of T, instead of just T, instead of T, I'm writing X. Instead of T, I'm writing X. But this is T ka square, so this X ka square. K as such. Y is equal to Kx square. Y is equal to Kx square. Few minutes back, I told you, Y is equal to Kx square. The nature of the graph is going to be parabola opening upwards. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand, my dear students? How easily the graphs you are making right now? Whatever equations you'll be getting in chemistry, you should be in a position to make every graph. For example, there are a lot of graphs. There are a lot of graphs in your chapter kinetics. There is a chapter chemical kinetics. You must be knowing, you must have heard. There are a lot of graphs in that. I'm just going to give you the equations because right now I know you won't be remembering those equations. I will be giving you the equations and you should be making the graphs on your own. Can you give it a try with me? Have a look. Try to understand. For example, the first graph I'm writing is R is equal to K, concentration of A raised power 0. This is the first equation which I'm giving you. Second equation. AT is equal to A naught minus KT. This is the second equation I'm giving you. Try to understand what I'm going to do. The third equation. T half is equal to A naught divided by 2K. Don't go with the terminologies. Don't ask me what is T half, what is A naught. That's something which we have to study in kinetics. Right now, I'm just teaching you the graphs. Okay? Leave the conceptual part aside. What is this A naught? What is AT? What is R? What is K? Nothing to do with that. I have just things to do with the variables over. Try to understand. This T half is equal to A naught by 2K. Let's say alpha. Alpha is equal to KT divided by A naught. Alpha is equal to KT divided by A naught. Okay, how many equations I wrote? 1, 2, 3, 4. The next equation. R is equal to K, concentration of A raised power 1. Okay. Next equation. Ln of AT is equal to ln of A naught minus KT. Okay. Next equation. Log of AT is equal to log of A naught minus K divided by 2.303 multiplied by T. I believe you must have seen these equations somewhere, but I have nothing to do with that. I am just teaching you the graphs here. Here, for example, you have to make a graph between R versus K. Not R versus K, sorry. R versus concentration. Here, I want you to plot a graph between AT and T. AT and T. And my dear students, here I want you to plot a graph between T half versus A naught. T half versus A naught. Okay. And here I want you guys to plot a graph between alpha and A naught. Alpha and A naught. Here I want you to plot a graph between R versus concentration of A. R versus A. Okay. Here I want you to plot a graph between ln of AT versus T. Here I want you to plot a graph between log of AT versus T. These are a lot of graphs which you have to plot. Okay. Right? Just with how many times I'm telling you that every day you'll be having 4 classes. I have not updated. We have not. It is the job of teachers to update the schedule. We have not updated there in the app. There are 4 classes in a week. So please and please don't ask me the same. Please don't ask me the same. All right. Perfect, guys. Now have a look. Have a look. Have a look properly what I'll be doing. Have a look properly what I'll be doing. See, guys, the first graph is between R versus A. Do you see here? Power is 0. Anything raised power 0 is 1. Anything raised power 0 is 1. Correct? So it's nothing but it's R is equal to K basically. R is equal to K. This R you are plotting along y-axis. And A you are plotting along x-axis. So in this particular equation, your R is nothing but y. R is nothing but y is equal to K. Y is equal to K. Y is equal to K means straight line. 2 minutes back only I've discussed it with you. Okay. Number one. Yes, Ajmal, there will be recordings also provided. Don't worry. The second graph is AT versus T. AT you are plotting along y-axis. T you are plotting along x-axis. So instead of AT here, I'll write y. Instead of T here, I'll write x. Instead of AT, I've written y. Instead of T, I've written x. So this K becomes my M. The sign here is minus. This A0 is nothing but your C. And here it's equal to y is equal to minus mx plus c. 2 minutes back, I've told you y is equal to minus mx plus c. Y is equal to minus mx plus c. What is the graph for y is equal to minus mx plus c? This is the graph. 2 minutes back, we have discussed. The distance from here to here is what you call as intercept. Intercept is denoted by c, and c is nothing but A0. If I ask you about the slope, what is slope? Slope here is nothing but minus k. Guys, isn't it simple now? Isn't it very simple now? Now look at the next one. T half you are plotting along y-axis. A0 you are plotting along x-axis. So instead of T half, I'm writing y. I'm writing y. Instead of A0, I'm writing x. Okay. So basically, can I write this equation like this? T half is equal to 1 by 2k multiplied by A0. T half is equal to 1 by 2k separately, A0 separately. Now this T half you are plotting along y-axis is equal to A0 you are plotting along x-axis. Okay. 1 by 2k, this becomes my M. Y is equal to mx means straight line like this. Straight line like this. Now if I ask you, what about the slope of this curve? Slope means M. M is nothing but that's 1 upon 2k. That is the slope of the curve. Simple. Alpha versus A0. Inversely proportional. Whenever you have two variables which are inversely proportional, the nature of the curve is hyperbola. Yeah? Nature of the curve is hyperbola. That's it. Perfect. Look at the next one. R versus A. R versus A. R you are plotting along y-axis. A you are plotting along x-axis. So R is your y-axis. A is your x-axis. This is your M. Y is equal to mx. Straight line. Nothing to think. Ln AT you are plotting along y-axis. T you are plotting along x-axis. So this is y. This T is your x. K is your M. Sign is minus. This entire term is C. Y is equal to minus mx plus C. The graph is like this. Y is equal to minus mx plus C. If you ask me about the slope, slope is nothing but minus k. If you ask me about this intercept is c basically, and c value is nothing but ln of A0. Simple? Simple, right? Right, people? Look at the next one. Log AT versus T. Again, log AT you are plotting along y-axis. T you are plotting along x-axis. So log AT is your y. T is your x. This entire term is your M. Sign here is minus. This entire term is your C. Y is equal to minus mx plus C. Minus mx plus C. The curve is like this. What about the slope? Slope is minus k upon 2.303. Slope is M basically. Minus k upon 2.303. What about this intercept? Intercept is C. C is nothing but log of A0. Perfect. Now tell me, are all these graphs clear to you? Are all these graphs clear to you? My dear students, I am telling you, if any sort of equation you know, from the equation you can plot any graph, whatever graph is there in your chemistry subject. Do you understand? Do you understand this? Do you understand this? And if you understand this, people, if you understand this, then tell me a few more things. Tell me a few more things. For example, here I am giving you the equation P is equal to KT. This is your equation. P is pressure. For example, T is temperature in Kelvin. The first graph which I want you guys to make, what is that? Pressure versus temperature in Kelvin. Number one. Second graph which I want you guys to make, what is that? That is P divided by T versus T. Versus T. Third graph, for example, I want you to make as, let's say it is going to be P versus 1 by T. P versus 1 by T. Let's say one more graph I want you to make, that is PT versus T square. Okay. PD versus T square. Okay, one more thing. For example, I want you to make this graph. P versus root of T. P versus root of T. Okay, P versus root of T. Now, how do you make these graphs? How do you make these graphs? How do you make these graphs? Have a look, guys. Try to understand very... Okay, one more graph, for example. Let's say there is one more graph which is there. That is, for example, log P versus log T. Log P versus log T. This is one more graph which I would plot. So there are a lot of graphs which are supposed to be plotted. Have a look how I'm plotting them. Try to understand. First of all, P is equal to KT. That's my equation. P is equal to KT. T I'm plotting along y-axis, T I'm plotting along x-axis. So this is my y, this is my x, and this becomes my m. Y is equal to mx. Straight line like this. Done. P by T versus T. My equation is P is equal to KT. So I can write P divided by T is equal to constant. T divided by T is equal to K. I write like this. Now P by T you are plotting along y-axis. This you are plotting along x-axis. So instead of P by T I can write y. So y is equal to K. Y is equal to K means straight line. Done and dusted. Right? Similarly, you have got P versus 1 by T. Again, your equation is P is equal to K multiplied by T. But here, my dear students, if you look carefully, I do not want T, I want 1 by T. So you can write P is equal to K divided by 1 by T, which again comes out to be P is equal to KT only. Which again comes out to be P is equal to KT only. Right? Perfect. Now, my dear students, P you are plotting along y-axis. Okay, is equal to K divided by 1 by T you are plotting along x-axis. Y and x inversely proportional. Hyperbola. Done. Done and dusted. PT versus T square. P is equal to KT. But what do I need here? What do I need here? I need PT here. So multiply with temperature, multiply with T. So PT is equal to KT square. PT you are plotting along y-axis. T square along x-axis. K becomes your M. Y is equal to MX means straight line. Done and dusted. Okay? Right? Now, my dear students, P versus root T. You know the equation P is equal to KT. I can write it like this. P is equal to K. Instead of T, I can write root T ka square. Root T ka square again comes out to be T only. Right? No need to think. Try to understand. P you are plotting along y-axis. Root T you are plotting along x-axis. So P you are plotting along y-axis. Root T you are plotting along x-axis. But we have got root T ka square. So this x square, y is equal to kx square. Parabola opening upwards. Parabola opening upwards. Do you understand? Do you understand? Log P versus log T. This is going to be my homework question. Okay. So my dear students, do you see exactly how we started, from where we started? We started from the basics. Now if you give me any equation in chemistry, and if you ask me to make any graph in chemistry, you are not supposed to mug up the graph. You should be in a position to make the graph. That is the point. And from graph, 4 questions are easily asked, right? And I am pretty much sure you will be in a position to make each and every graph from now onwards. That's what I was talking about a few days back. The level up content started from the basics, this is how we are going to this is how we are going to keep our class. Okay, this is how we are going to keep our classes with the level up content. Perfect. So again, let me tell you finally one more thing. This your NEET 2026 Avengers batch. Avengers batch. Wherein me and HSP sir will be taking care of your chemistry, Yavar sir your complete physics, Ambika ma'am your complete biology. This batch, now we are not starting on 24th, we are starting on 30th of May. So all those students who would want to be the part of the batch, okay, get enrolled as soon as possible, my dears. As soon as possible, right after this particular session, I want every one of you to enroll into the batch quickly. Okay, because in this batch, your entire syllabus will be completed in 6 months. Your PCB syllabus, number one. 2 months will be there for the revision. 2 months for the revision. After every 14 days, we'll be conducting tests for you. After every 14 days, we'll keep on having Zoom mentorship sessions with you, wherein we'll let you know how you can improvise your scores in the tests. Every chapter will be started from the basics, from the scratch, from the basics, as if you have never studied the chapter before. Does not matter what was your NEET 2025 score. Does not matter. Okay? Does not matter. Okay, all the sessions are going to be live. But sometimes if you miss out a live session, there you will have the access to their recordings as well. Recordings as well. Perfect. Apart from that, the best part is your study material. If you are being the part of the batch, if you are going to be the part of the batch, you are not supposed to solve any books. Whatever study material we are going to provide you, this study material, which is the finest study material which I have been seeing recently. Okay, you just have to solve this particular study material. That's more than sufficient. You are not supposed to solve any book, my dear. All the classes will be on smart board like. Okay, every single chapter will be from the basic, right? We are basically going to prepare you for the worst. What does that mean? You saw this year's physics paper. Nobody could solve even 10 questions. Now there is a possibility next year chemistry might be different, biology might be different. So we have to prepare all the 3 subjects accordingly, my dear. We have to prepare for the worst. So all the NEET type questions, all the JEE type questions, all the AIEEE type questions, every single type of the questions will be solved in the class. So you are not supposed to worry about anything. You just follow what I tell you to. Nothing more. Okay. And please, one more suggestion I have for you at the end. Whosoever mentors you have chosen on YouTube and stuff, right? Okay. The influencers who you have chosen, please delete all those channels. Perfect. Get trained by the teachers now. This is the high time to get trained by the teacher. This is the time to avoid the influencers in YouTube. Perfect. That's why I keep on telling you, A1, now is the time to get trained by the teacher or producer, because they are the ones who know how to content, and leveling up the content at this particular point of time is the most important. So I'll be taking a leave with this. Do let me know in the comment section of this particular video how you find this particular session, whether you want all the sessions in this format, right? From the basics and scaling up the things, right? Do let me know in the comment section. I'll be exactly checking your comment section, my dear students. Okay, I'll be checking your comments one by one, and I'll personally give the answers of all your comments. We'll be commenting right after this. So with this, I'm taking a leave. Take care. God bless you all. Love you all, my dear.